So let's talk about Alex Honnold. You know him, he's the most famous free solo climber in the world. But recently he did something completely unprecedented. He climbed one of the tallest buildings on the entire planet with zero ropes, and he did it live on Netflix for everyone to see. Now, this was so much more than just a stunt. It was really the peak of a dream he'd had for a decade, a fight against some incredible engineering, and just a totally unique moment in sports history. Let's get into it. First, just get your head around these numbers. We are talking about 508 meters, that's 1,667 feet straight up. And Honnold, he did the whole thing in just over 90 minutes. That makes it the highest urban free solo climb ever even attempted. It was basically a vertical sprint up a giant made of glass and steel. And I really want to be crystal clear about what free solo actually means. It means there is absolutely nothing to catch you if you fall. Nothing. Just your hands, your feet, and a level of focus that is almost impossible to imagine. One tiny mistake, one little slip, and the outcome is just unthinkable. So, yeah, this brings us to the big question, right? It's one thing to climb El Capitan out in the middle of nowhere for a documentary that comes out later. It is a completely different thing to do it in the middle of a packed city on a fixed schedule with the entire world watching you in real time. Why? I mean, really, why? What was the story behind this climb? To really get the why, we have to start with the man himself and what was driving him. Because this wasn't some snap decision he made for a TV show. Oh no, this was deeply, deeply personal. Turns out Honnold first laid eyes on Taipei 101 about 10 years ago, and right then and there he was just captivated. For years, he actually thought about climbing it, maybe without permission, but he didn't. He waited. And then, more than a decade after that idea first popped into his head, this official project finally came together, and it turned this long-held private dream into a massive global event. And this quote from him, wow, it's so revealing. He said he chose to wait for an official chance out of respect, not just for the building, but for everyone on the team. That shows this level of patience and reverence, really, that goes so far beyond just being a daredevil. Okay, so now let's talk about the building itself, the other main character in this whole story. Taipei 101 isn't just another tall skyscraper. It's a genuine engineering marvel, and it has this unique personality that threw a very specific set of challenges at him. And again, let's just look at that number, 508 meters. To put that in perspective, when this building opened back in 2004, it was officially the tallest building in the world. It was a true monument on the global stage. The design itself is just beautiful. It's meant to look like a stalk of bamboo reaching for the heavens, and it's built in these 8 distinct sections, each 8 stories tall. In Taiwanese culture, the number 8 sounds like the word for wealth or prosper, so it's this perfect symbol for a financial center. Pretty cool, right? This slide just perfectly captures that jump from an idea on paper to the real-world surface Honnold had to climb. On the left, you see the complex blueprint, and then on the right, you see the reality, these huge, overhanging bamboo boxes that ended up being the trickiest part of the whole climb. So you might be wondering, how hard was it really? For those of us who aren't climbers, this is a great little breakdown. The route on Taipei 101 is rated about a 5.11C. Now, that is a serious climb for a very good athlete. But his legendary solo of El Capitan was a 513A, which is way, way harder. So for Honnold, the challenge here wasn't just the raw technical moves. It was the endurance, the exposure, and that insane public pressure. The building also has some incredible design secrets. It's built in a region that gets a lot of typhoons, so handling the wind is absolutely critical. These graphs show you the wind forces on a normal square building compared to Taipei 101. See, the architects added these sawtooth corners that just dramatically break up the wind, and they reduce its force by up to 40%. It's a genius design that also, by the way, created a totally unique climbing surface. And if you think that's cool, wait till you hear what's inside. Hanging between the 87th and 92nd floors is a 726-ton golden pendulum. It's called a tuned mass damper. So when the building sways in high winds, this massive ball sways in the opposite direction, basically canceling out the movement and keeping the whole skyscraper stable. It's an incredible piece of engineering that tourists can actually go and see. So we've got the man and his dream, and we've got the monument and all its challenges. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the moment itself, and what made this climb completely different from anything Honnold had ever done before. A quick comparison to his El Cap climb really puts it all into perspective. El Cap was out in the remote wilderness. This was in a dense, bustling city. El Cap was done whenever he felt ready. This was a scheduled live broadcast. One was filmed for a documentary, the other was streamed live to the world. The entire focus was just on another level. I mean, the whole thing was a spectacle. It was broadcast live, globally, on Netflix, with a 10-second delay, just in case the worst happened. There were huge crowds down below chanting, "Add oil," which is a local phrase of encouragement. People were waving from their office windows as he climbed past. At one point, they clocked his heart rate at 165 beats per minute. This wasn't just a climb. This was a performance. Now, you would think all of that pressure would just be a massive distraction, right? But Honnold had this surprisingly different take on it. He actually said the crowd's energy made the whole experience feel more festive. He said that having all those people cheering him on, wishing him well, actually helped him. It somehow turned all that pressure into positive energy. Which brings us to the final question. After he got to the top, after the live broadcast ended, what was the takeaway? What did this historic and frankly controversial event really mean? You know, when reporters asked him what message he hoped the climb would send, Honnold was pretty honest about it. He said he didn't really have one, that people tend to find the inspiration that they need in moments like these. And you know what? He was right. The reaction was completely split. On one side, you had pure inspiration. People saw it as this reminder that our time here is finite, that it was a kick for them to go pursue their own goals. But on the other side, there was this very real ethical unease, concern over broadcasting something so dangerous live, and these tough questions about the commercialization of deadly risk. And maybe, in the end, this is the best way to understand the whole thing. Honnold's climb wasn't about him sending one single message to us. It was about creating a moment so extraordinary that it kind of forces all of us to look at our own lives. What it inspired in you probably says less about him and a lot more about the challenges and the dreams you hold for yourself. So I guess the real question is, what did you take away from it?